Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning into this channel. I've been talking a lot about auras and chakras and energy and colour, and I wanted to explain why I'm so hung up or so oh, I've lost my words already. Why I'm so obsessed with the energy, particularly in the auras and chakras. And then you've got the other energy like colour energy, etc. It's because the only way spirit can communicate with us is through energy. That's all they have. So the more we learn about energy, the more we feel energy, um, the more that spirit have to work with us, the more information that they can use. So for example, um, if you get a feeling in your solar plexus area in the chakras which we've discussed, this area is about personal power. It's about confidence, knowing what we want, going for what we want. But if you start feeling uncomfortable in this area when you're given a message, then it's like, for me, I liken it to being a swan where you're on the surface, you're given these messages and everything's flowing, but underneath you're saying, well, what does this mean? How does this feel? What are you trying to tell me? And what does this mean? So you're constantly asking these questions. For me, particularly as well, I was taught, I had like a list that I had to tick off, sort of what hospital were they in, what medication were they on, what did they pass with, where did they pass, how many children did they have pets? And I actually had a checklist that I had to keep asking spirit these questions as I was training. It was very intensive training. As I say it's called evidential mediumship, so we have to give evidence that we are talking to the spirit world. And it's like that with the energy that I feel, and what I try to let people know is that whatever they are feeling is what spirit, when you're working spirit, is what spirit are trying to tell you. So for example, if you get this feeling, uncomfortable feeling in your solar plexus area, then you need to ask spirit, what are they saying? Are they saying they need more power? Are they being too bossy? Do they need to draw back a bit? Do they need to let other people speak? And so you're constantly asking these questions based on what you're feeling, and your response, your feeling response will be the answer that spirit are trying to give to you, trying to tell you. So again, if you get an uncomfortable feeling, spirit, you're talking to spirit and they've come through and you're happy, they have a connection, and then you get this like thump in the heart or the or your throat, you get this feeling, this negative feeling. You can think, am I saying too much? Do I need to be quiet? Do I need to speak up about something? And then the feeling that you get back in your solar plexus, they consider the solar plexus in the spiritual world, I think it's considered the third brain anyway, because this is where all our nerve endings collect, I believe. So this is where we get most of our feelings from. So the response in your solar plexus, if it's happy, I have to say happy, if it feels comfortable, then the solar plexus, you're probably doing things about right. If it feels really uncomfortable, then I would ask spirit, as I said, does this mean that I'm being overbearing, or do I need to be less confident, or do I need to be more confident? And the feeling that you get back will decide, well, the feeling you get back, that will pertain to what spirit are trying to give you, which is why I keep going back to these energies, the solar plexus, the auras, the colours, and everything's about energy. Even when we look at elemental energy or dream energy or whatever we're looking at, the only way spirit can communicate is through energy. So this is why I spend so long on it, and people might be thinking, why am I spending so much time? So whether we're seeing spirit, feeling spirit, hearing spirit, it's all through an energy. As I say, it's the only way they can communicate, and the more we can understand our energy, the more of a gift it is for spirit to use our energy. It makes it easy for them. And the other thing that I think I have said before is that spirit will use they use our energy, and they also will use, they will never change how they work with you. They will never change it. They don't confuse you. Once they find a way of speaking to you, they won't change that. For example, it doesn't happen very often, and I know I've given this analogy before. Not analogy. I've given this before. Whenever I see, when I'm giving message, if I see an eagle or a bird of prey, I think it's an eagle, circling around a mountain top, a cliff top, so they're flying over the sea, back over the cliff, that always means to me that the spirit that's talking to me passed while they were in a coma. That always means they're in a coma, or somebody hears in a coma. They never change that message. It never means anything else. I don't get it often, but when I do get it, I know I'm confident to say spirit died in a coma, or there's someone on earth in a coma, because they will try and communicate. Even people whether in a coma, I've had people communicate with me when they can't communicate in the physical world. They have communicated with me for the family that are in the church, or the family that are waiting, are unable to, they think they're unable to communicate, but spirit will communicate in lots of ways, whether they're past already or whether they're transitioning. So this is why I am so obsessed. It is an obsession with the energy, whatever it is. And we can take, so that's like the chakra and the solar plexus, but what about the aura? What about our aura energy? So when we're working with the auras, we can, auras can move and change, as I said in my last video. So although green for the chakras will always be in the heart area, will always be in the heart area, green or pink, that will always mean something to do with the heart. Although the aura, the pink, can mean the same, the pink can move about. So you might have pink around your neck, a pink aura rather around your neck, or you might have pink, as I think on one of my pictures, the whole body is covered in the pink aura. The pink aura dominates that body, which means that there are a lot of emotions expressed. Now, you can see by that aura on the previous one, I think it's here, this pink aura, lots of pink. So if I saw that or visualize that during a message, that would suggest to me that the emotions are dominating this person. They need to get in control of their emotions. They need to work out what's bothering them most. And if they've got a lot of things going on, they need to work through their emotions by the most dominant one down to the least dominant one. But it looks to me from that, somebody really needs to get in control of their emotions and not let it dominate the whole body. And if you so you've got the base, the chakra, and if you look also at the yellow there, that is a solar plexus. That is quite a large solar plexus chakra. So along with, so it would suggest to me that they're giving too much power to their emotions. Too much yellow going on amongst this pink. So it confirms to me the dominance of this aura and chakra reading. Now I've just looked at that, and that's just what I picked up right now by looking at it. That's what this means to me today. This is why it's so important to know energy, but it's also so important to become aware of the difference between psychic energy and spiritual mediumship energy, because all of this can be read by a really good psychic. I have seen mediums give the most amazing readings, never touching spirit. They're all giving, they're just giving energy readings, aura readings, chakra readings. They're not getting anything from spirit. And I do see this, and they can be so accurate, and it can be so impressive to see this. But the only way you can know is whether somebody's giving an energy reading, a psychic reading, or a spiritual reading is by the energy in the room. That's what I believe. I believe when I'm working with spirit, as you can tell now, I get a little bit hyperactive. I get a little bit more energy about me. I get quite excited. But working, spirit raises the energy always. And sometimes if I do a service, and I can be really ill or tired, but you know, I never let a church down if I can. But if I'm feeling really rough that day and I'm thinking, oh God, I don't want to go, I don't feel well. Once I get on that platform, once I start giving messages, it's like an excitement, it's a buzz, and I get my energy and I get my brain moving, and it's really exciting to be up there. When you're working psychically, and the spirit fills the room with energy, and everybody gets a buzz, and everybody feels uplifted by the spirit energy. Or when you're working on the psychic energy, I find personally it drains the room. It absolutely drains the room of energy. And when I have seen people working with the psychic energy, it makes you really, really, really tired, because they're pulling on all of our energy to give psychic readings, and it can be quite exhausting for the people in the room and for the medium. There's a huge difference between psychic energy and spiritual energy. This is why I spend so much time on these differences, because you must remember I have done 3, 5, 7, getting on for 10 years training, and including the teacher training I've done as well for this subject. So I do know what I'm talking about, and I do relate and feel what I'm talking about. So this is why I spend so much time on the energy. And by the end of the chakras, which I will finish in my next video, but I really wanted to talk about the importance of why I'm teaching these, because I can seem to be going on a bit about them, but once you learn these energies, what they mean to you, how they feel to you, size, shape, influence, attachments, because attachments can be earthly attachments from somebody you've upset, or somebody that loves you, or somebody that's really trying to do you wrong. So attachments can be physical, earthly attachments. Attachment doesn't have to be a spiritual attachment. So I think this is again why I concentrate so much on this. We will, once that we've got to grips, I feel, with energy, we'll move on then to using this energy when we're working with ribbons, and we're working with crystals, and we're working through our dreams, and we're looking at our animal guides, and all of this feeling energy and becoming aware of energy will become so beneficial to your mediumship. It will make such good mediums. So the more effective and accurate the communications will be once we've learned this. So I make no apologies for it. I should have perhaps made clear in my first video, this is why I spend so much time on these energies. So we look at colour, and we look at the personal meaning of colour, because colour is not like the auras and chakras. They don't have a reason, they don't have an attachment to what they mean, like the solar plexus means personal power. But when you look at colour randomly, as in art or pictures or any other form of colour, that's what that colour means to you, not what it means in the chakras, not what it means in the auras, what that colour means to you. So then you can take your personal feeling, emotion, attachment to that colour, link it to your auras and chakras, and you'll be an amazing medium. I promise, because that is how it's done. So I hope I haven't bored everyone with auras and chakras, because there's 7 chakras and there's 7 auras. There's actually loads more chakras. We have them in the palm of our hands and our fingertips, and we have chakra energy points all over our body. I just look at the 7 main ones. The same with the aura. We have the 7 auras that we discuss, but there's so many other forms of auras. As I'm talking to you today, I'm wondering and hoping, can you see my aura? It's on, so this is my right side. Is it your left side? Is it right? I don't know. So you can see this aura coming down here, going around there, and down there. So that is my aura for today. It's, if you look, it's quite a lot larger around my head, I feel. If I move away, you see the light there? You see the light following me? It follows me that way. So that is my reflection. That is my aura. There's nothing on this side because there's no light side. So this is my right side, my dominant side. So what else can I say about auras? So I said that spirit will never change the way work with us. Energy is the only method that spirit can talk to us, whether it's moving objects for us, whether it's allowing us to hear music, whether it is protecting us from too much interaction with emotional vampires. So this is why I hope you can bear with me while I finish off the aura videos. So also, I think we talked last time about how the aura attracts like energy, and this is why the phrase "like attract likes" is so so pertinent, so accurate. Like does attract like. However we're feeling, will push and pull the same people to and from us. So emotional vampires, I'm not talking about spiritual vampires. Spiritual attachments can happen, but I think mainly in the real world, in the normal world, the attachments we get are from people who are drawn to our energy. So we have to be really, really careful when we're angry or got all this hostility. We'll draw angry people to us, but they might not show as angry, but eventually they will show resentment and mistrust, and they might want to dominate you. So your negative feelings will attract people with negative feelings. I'm going to say always. I don't think there's any alternative to that. You are what you attract, which I find really, really interesting, because I do attract a lot of negative people, or I have attracted a lot of negative people. So changing my attitude will change that interactions for me. So we've got the energy vampires. We will hopefully do a meditation to remove them from us. What else did you need to see? So again, back to energy. Our third eye energy and our crown energy. Again, we can attract, I won't say positive or negative. We will attract what we understand, if that makes sense, what we understand. So the amount of people that have sat in my circle and then said they are a little bit afraid of spirit world, and that's always been a puzzle to me, because I've never been afraid of spirit world. I've grown up with spirit close to me, and I didn't really know what they were or what was happening, but I am aware now that it was spirit drawing close to me. So I think, again, like attracts like. I always remember one of my students saying to me, there's a negative energy in the corner of a son's room. There's this energy. And I said, well, maybe it's just an energy and you're attributing negativity to it, which is why when we have these corners or these cold spots in the house, you can put crystals down, light a candle, disperse the energy. Oh, sage is excellent. Sage is always corners and things when you're feeling negative energy. Maybe it's just an energy and it's your attribution to it. So once you start putting positive energy in there, you can lighten up that corner and stop worrying about it. So this is our influence on what Spirit is giving us. So then it's back to understanding what Spirit is giving us. Maybe Spirit is drawing to that corner. Maybe Spirit is standing in that corner, waiting to communicate with us, but doesn't know how because you don't know how. So we just think, oh my God, there's a cold spot here. That's really awful. But it might not be. It might be mom or dad or granddad, someone standing in the corner thinking, I'm here, talk to me. Have a spot outside my bathroom, in between my bathroom and my bedroom. There's a spot, always been a spot there. And I know there's a spirit standing there. And it doesn't bother me at all. I just know it's a spirit. I think it's a residual spirit, an etheric spirit. I don't think it's a live spirit, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but not a live spirit. And I just live with it. And that's really weird because when my dog has to walk past, it goes, my dog got spirit here. My dog walks the long way around like this. It won't walk past the spirit in a straight line. So there's definitely something there. And I had one of these apps where you measure ghosts. And there was definitely something standing in that corner. Doesn't bother me at all. I think it's a man and he's welcome to stand there for as long as he needs to, or as long as he wants to, and then he'll eventually move on. He has some emotional attachment to this place and I don't feel any negativity from it. So, but somebody else might with that experience might say, there's a negative energy standing outside my bathroom. It's awful, it's horrible, which would be our perception of it. So this again is why reading energy is so important. It's all we've got in it. It's the only communication skill that we have to be accurate, to receive messages and to understand messages from the spirit world. So looking at the auras, if we look at the other one here, so we were looking at the pink auras on here and the yellow chakra. If you look at this one, that's a bit of a mess as well, isn't it? So we've got green for the heart, blue for the communication of the throat. So I would say there's a disconnect here. So as a psychic reading, I would say there's a total disconnect here between the heart and the voice. So what's being said, I would suggest, might not be the truth of the matter, might not be what they need to know. The fact that the green, the lover spirit is here, and there's love going on. Let me see, that would be right shoulder, left leg. So there's love trying to balance here. We have got a lot of blue here, mainly blue, surrounding the spirit here. So that would suggest to me, because that links to the throat, then that suggests to me that maybe things aren't all as they seem, which is why the love, the green and the heart chakra is a little bit all over the place. So I would suggest somebody knows that something is not going right in their love life, in their relationships, but haven't quite come to grips with it. That's a perfectly logical psychic reading. That is not a spiritual reading. That is my understanding of auras and chakras. But to know this aids our mediumship so much, because spirit can say to me, or draw my attention to someone in the congregation. That happens as well. Somebody wearing a green jumper or a pink hair slide once, it's bright pink hair, it drew me to them. And so my interpretation of what spirit is showing me while I'm on the platform or giving messages is what spirit are trying to say. So I hope I hope I've clarified that and not made it more complicated. So I will stick with energy. I'm going to finish the aura energy because I want to tell you how to heal the auras as well. Sage in the auras, balance in the aura. So I just want to continue with auras in my next video for a little while, and then after that we'll be moving on to maybe practical exercises, and what comes after that. I have so much information here with this book that I've written, the book What I Wrote, as Ernie Wise would say. So we've looked at mental mediumship again. This is where I want to work. The auras are in the body. If the aura's on the top of the head, it can maybe mean overthinking things. If the aura's mainly at the back of the body, maybe you're leaving something behind or taking somewhere with you, things with you. So this is where you need to feel your interpretation of energy, and then you can interpret what you see accurately. If the aura is at the front of the body, does this mean that you're also taking stuff with you that you should be leaving behind? Are you taking things into the future that you'll be better off left? And if you've got the fuzzy aura all around the body, it might mean that you need to protect your aura a little bit because it's too big and it's too weak, and it's just letting all emotions in, and it's letting everything draw close to you. So this is the kind of things that I'm going to finish my next meditation on the auras, given the last of this information that I feel is important. So when I say the aura up front may mean that you are carrying things with you that you could leave behind, it could also indicate living for the future instead of living in the present. So that's where the interpretation and your feelings have to work together, because it could mean that or it could mean this. So what I try to give you all the tools to understand it so that you can feel what you need to feel about it, what Spirit is trying to tell you. So you can use what you have to interpret the spirit communication, which will make you a really, really great medium. Much better than somebody that just works on the psychic, or someone that just randomly works with spirit. This is what I found for me anyway. I love learning and I love teaching, so maybe I'm lucky in that way, and I hope to put a fire in people about learning about these things. But I just wanted to share why I do this, why I'm so obsessed with what I would call psychic energy before it moves on. Spirit can use our energy. I think that's the best way of explaining that. So in the next video, I will go back to looking at finishing off what I know about auras, how to use them and how to share them. Before I go, I will say, if you're in a circle or with a friend, an excellent way to look at look at auras, and drifting off now, is with a pendulum. If you get someone to sit in a chair and you get a pendulum, you can stand behind them and walk forward slowly with a pendulum. I wish I had someone I could demonstrate these things with you. Maybe I'll get a friend to come and help me demonstrate. And then when the pendulum starts moving or swinging or shaking, that is where that person's aura stops, or when you begin to hit the aura. So it's a really interesting way of finding out how big someone's aura is, how solid it is, and where it is on the body, where it's stronger on the body, is using a pendulum to feel the aura as you draw close to it. I think that's enough for one day. That's another 30 minutes that I've done. I will finish with the auras in my next video and try and bring all that information together for you. And hopefully that might even be tomorrow, as I am trying to do a daily video. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, ask me any question you want. I'd love to get questions. I'd love to teach a subject that you're interested in, because, you know, I do know everything. I have been doing it a long time, so I do know the answers to a lot of questions and how to work with a lot of things. Okay then, so until the next time, more auras. Bye.